on target. And whether you from the diaspora, Grenada, the Caribbean, anywhere, any part of the world that you get a chance to listen to us, pick up the telephone and give us a call. The number is 442-0175. No preamble, no wasting time. Just tell us what you want to say. In our democratic process, we need to push it. We need to push the pendulum. We need to practice our democracy. If you disagree with something, speak about it. If you like something, speak about it. Let your voices be heard. That is how you strengthen your democracy. We're on RealFM 91.9, YouTube and Facebook. If you are working with government, try and avoid picking up the telephone and call. If you're a young person fresh from school, you're looking for a job, you're looking for a scholarship, listen to the program but avoid calling. This present government is entrenching victimization. Under the restorative justice policy and the Ministry of MIT, mobilization, they are entrenching a process of victimization as never seen before in Grenada. During the revolution, they lock up counters, but this one is different. Yes, scholar, welcome. Yes, scholar, welcome. All right, we lost the caller. All right, caller, try again. Now, there are some leaders in our country that's silent. They're playing stupid. They're playing they don't know. All governments, yes, scholar, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother. Punch.
Well, I had to open back. I heard a caller try to get you. It was not me. You just mentioned about if you work in the government, you should hush your mouth. What I realize going on here.
You shouldn't hush your mouth, but you shouldn't call this program if you feel that you could be victimized. It makes no sense putting your job in trouble.
Well, there are people right now who let me know that they're not satisfied with the governance of this country. They're not satisfied how the government is going. But they want a job, so they're afraid to say that.
And they shouldn't. You shouldn't put your job at any risk. There are a lot of individuals on radio speaking out. They gather information. You could get your information to them, and they would not identify you.
So I told the activist, I said, in Dr. Mitchell days, I can remember. Dr. Mitchell said, he don't care whether you're green, whether you're yellow, give you a job to the country, money going to circulate through the country. That was his policy. So the policy of this government is not a good policy. Watching color, watching face. Not so it was under the NNP. The NNP want to make sure everybody employed. This is why the money was trickling down to the grounds of the poor man in the NNP reign. But right now, the upper class have the money. Who have the money? One set of people. They does not care what happened to the poor man. Whether the poor man starve, they don't care. All they know, them is okay. Mr. Pierre, in a government, when you have cabinet reshuffle, this is legal. But if it happening a bit regular, it shows something is not right within the administration. I get from reliable sources that the man would have the gracious offer receive when you receive it already. They're thinking about bringing it back in the cabinet, but they're ashamed because they want to give him back his ministry. This is why the man's so quiet. He's so quiet. You know, this government is a hiding government. So a lot of things happening, and some Grenadians just sit down and afraid to talk, and some of them not in a position where they could be victimized, but they're still quiet about the situation. We are not in a revolutionary country. We're in a democratic country. And we must not hide too much. I don't know if anybody agree with what I say, but I have no apology in saying that. That's my decision. Thank you, sir.
Yes, well, all that is good, but if you are in a low-rank job and you could lose your job, your family have to eat. So you better not call programs when your voice could be easily identified. It makes a lot of sense. You can get the information to individuals who are on radio so that the issue will be discussed. So that's an important thing. Now, during the revolution, irrespective of Maurice Bishop's high-handed, heavy manners, and they're quick to call you counter-revolutionary, over 3,000 people defied and were in prison. Over 3,000 people. That is those Maurice Bishop signed the detention order for. You had much more people that was in prison for varying periods of time that Bishop didn't sign for. Over 3,000 to 4,000 people left Grenada for Trinidad and other countries. But it was more about you being a counter. There are a number of public officers who understood that as public officers, and even now, you should walk the straight and narrow, and you should not openly attack government policies. Even today, as a public officer, you are not to attack government policy because you are the ones implementing government policy. And nothing is wrong with if members of the National Democratic Congress decide to stay silent. Nothing is wrong with that. It's their political party, and they may be comfortable with what is going on. If you are not comfortable, and particularly if you are a political activist, a journalist, or individuals that speak on issues that transcend political parties, we expect you not to stay quiet. We have individuals in Grenada that walk around in the past with morality and accountability around their neck as a gallard. And now you can see their partiality. They were not objective. They were political activists disguising themselves. So on a matter of the GDB Bank, I consider it as a raid that the government raid the GDB Bank. And I believe that the members of that bank, the members of the managing board, or the directors of the bank should resign. What you have done there is unacceptable. You just a rubber stamp. Government appoints you on GDB board, and you have rubber stamp all the requests made by government ministers. It is unacceptable. It is not right. It is unethical. It is immoral for the GDB Bank to be used as a supermarket for ministers of government. I don't know if the regulation of the bank specify that ministers of government should not take loan there. But based upon what we are hearing in the public, these individual credit worthiness was not good for the commercial banks. There is information outside there to suggest that some individuals sold that which they put for security. So in other words, when they went up for the loan, the property they put for security, after they get the loan, they sold the property. If that is true, then it must be made public. And I believe the board should resign. When we have a prime minister in a country, the prime minister have a lot of advisors. One of the financial advisors that the prime minister could turn to is the governor of the central bank, of the OECS central bank. That individual is our own Timothy Antoine. He's a product of the Ministry of Finance. And I believe the time is long overdue for Timothy Antoine to nudge the Prime Minister of Grenada and inform him what he's doing is wrong, is immoral, and advise him to cease and desist. You ought not to use the GDB Bank You ought not to raid the bank. It's difficult for us to accept that the Prime Minister of Grenada set up a board. I think at that time he was Minister of Finance. But even it is not the period of time as the Prime Minister, the Chief Shepherd, the first among equals, he have to take the blame. And the board that you set up is a rubber stamp. No board with good character and functioning in an impartial way would grant loan into millions of dollars to ministers of the government. You don't song right. You don't smell right. It's unethical. I do not believe that has ever happened in our country. So I'm calling on Dwight Venner, not Dwight Venner, Timothy Antoine. I don't want Timothy Antoine come like Dwight Venner, because I believe Dwight Venner was too conservative in his approach, and he needed to challenge OECS leaders more. It's not that he wasn't a good man. It's not that I do not respect his governance. But as the exchequer, as the governor of the central bank, I believe these leaders have to do more and nudge and advise the different leaders of the OECS. And I don't think Dwight Venner did that. So I'm encouraging Timothy Antoine to nudge Deacon, to let him know what he did with the GDB Bank is unacceptable. and to choose an independent board that will be more professional, that board should resign. I have made an effort not to find out the names of the members of the board. I don't want to be used calling the name. I always try to avoid that. So I've made the effort not to find out the names of the members of the board. But I'm giving them an opportunity to resign. Resign from the GDB Bank. Carte blanche, all of you. You have proved that you are not worthy for that position. Resign from that position. And the time has come for Timothy Antoine to nudge the Prime Minister of Grenada. He's going in a wrong direction. The NDCs qualify to be considered as raiders. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I want to ask you one simple question. I'm not seeing what's going on. I'm not hearing what's going on with Sheldon. And I'm getting a kind of old regal. I want you, if you know anything what's going on, I want you to repeat it. Let me understand.
I don't have a clue.
You don't have a clue?
And I'm not an individual who get involved in breaking news if I'm not absolutely certain.
This is the day where I don't understand it.
So the best thing to do is to wait till you hear.
Let me hear what's going on because I just don't understand.
Whatever happened already. So let us make certain we know before we speak.
It's not what happened already, Mr. Pierre. Because I see a lot, the Prime Minister doing such a wicked...
I cannot help because I don't know. I don't involve in breaking news.
Nobody not doing nothing. You check it out? The amount of money was spending in Grenada and nothing not going on here. I don't see nothing going on in this Grenada here for the amount of money I think. But they know how to juke people in all kind of different form. Let us start. Me and them go have it out. Have a blessed day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, I don't get involved in breaking news and information I'm not certain about. When we speak on this program, we want to stick with the truth. We want to live comfortable in a house with the truth. We are not speaking from a script. So there are times we mouth could run faster than we brain. We're ready and prepared to take correction. We want to speak the truth. Too much of journalists and radio personalities want to make the news. You could report the news, but you mustn't make the news. So when you look at some of the things that are going on in Grenada, one of them is the raid on the GDB Bank. I believe the only person I could turn to now is Timothy Antoine of the Central Bank. The GDB Bank was set up to assist farmers. The agricultural farmers, the people in the cottage industry, and people that had difficulties qualifying for loans in the commercial bank. Obviously, it would have been some high risk. But government believe if we are to develop this sector, we must provide softer loans for these individuals. Those who could face the commercial bank, go and do it. The banks have a lot of liquidity. The credit unions and the financial institutions have a lot of liquidity. When we say that, they have a lot of money. But they don't find agricultural farmers. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr.
Yes.
Pierre. Mr. Pierre, I support you 100%. Right? The board, the Grand Development Board, the members on that board should resign. They should resign because if they had any integrity before they go in, they lost their integrity. They lost their integrity because the purpose of the bank is to help the farmers, help people that in need, some small business people that you want to invest. They want to invest. In the same way they invest, they could invest. They could, like say, you want to open a small business, you go hire people. You go hire people. But look at what was going on, Mr. Pierre. Who getting money from that? Among ministers to invest in themselves, to buy vehicles, to buy house, and to help themselves, not to help the people supposed to that the bank supposed to be helping, right? So this the board, remember that they last the respect to the people going to compete Martin. They have the integrity that they had when they came to come in. They last had no integrity because when you have integrity, you should do what is right. Do what is right. Well, look at what they're doing. That board is a rubber stamp board, and from the prime minister go down to his ministers, all of them they hijack the Grenada Development Bank and they change the name to the NDC Ministers Bank. They change the name. The NDC Minister Bank and the friend, the poor man who want to invest to help develop himself, they cannot get a loan because what they put there are set of people who only seeking the interest of the ministers and the minister's friend and the friend. That's what's going on. I'm saying again, I want to say something again to the Grenadian people. Yes, this minister will come to you, but you have to know what they coming to you for. Who aim? Who purpose? Is your purpose is to help you or to help themselves? Because someone go in the bank and they get big loan and they are on a contract. That contract is for 5 years. And what they coming to you for to tell them actually to vote for them. They actually to vote for them so they to give them like 5 years to pay out their loan. But they have no interest in helping you, the poor person. And I always continue to say, you look at the track record of NMP and NDC. NMP in governance, they help the poor man better their living condition. NDC in governance, they help themselves to invest themselves and develop themselves, and they ignore the poor people of the country. Mr. Pierre, again, the greater people have to know history. And you have to learn from your mistake. Learn from your mistake. So, Mr. Pierre, that was that.
Yes, Scholar Talking. Thank you very much. We want to appeal to Timothy Antwine of the OECS Central Bank. You're well acquainted. You are an individual who walked the straight and narrow as a public officer. You stayed in Grenada. You could have gone to greener pastures and work in any financial institution and make more money. So you're in a position to ask the government about the CBI program. Yes, Scholar, welcome.
Pierre.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
I listen to a they hear no not noisy. Let me tell you something, he jealous and he could get loan, he can't get it, so he's jealous and he.
Caller. Who spoke about Andy on the program?
Andy? Who is speaking about Andy who are getting loan?
Who spoke about Andy on the program?
But who getting loan? Not he who getting loan?
One person alone are getting loan from GDB?
One person, regardless of how much getting.
Caller, do you agree with that?
I agree with that. If you could get loan to do something in this country, take it and help build this country.
All right.
Stand up and watch it and well.
But so you don't agree that Timothy Antwine should counsel the Prime Minister on that?
No.
Caller, is the first time.
What Timothy Antwine have to do with that? This is Grenada business. He there in the bank in the OECS. He has no concern about that. Let me tell you something. The money in the bank for people to borrow. Them Grenadians, some of them Grenadians, they're so lazy. All they want is handout. Go and borrow the money and plant the land. Don't wait until people borrow it and come and complain. They're too damn lazy. The money they to borrow, borrow it. Right now, they cannot loan for $110,000. None of them are going to take it. Why? I'm lazy. All they depend on handout from government. That is most wicked set up, all they want is handout. Handout, they don't want to go and borrow money and make to invest in Grenada. So I don't know what you're talking about. Further than you get it on, take it.
Okay, caller.
You
Thank
get
you.
one, take it too.
Thank you, caller. See, that's what is so sad about what is going on now. The Minister of Foreign Affairs say you have good people and bad people. The Minister of Agriculture calling people lunatic and idiot. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, Mr. Pierre, good
Yes,
evening. I just want to make some correction here with the last caller and the GDB Bank loan. No, it is against the bank policy, number one. It is against the bank policy for government ministers and the family to take a loan. Two, we know, and it is a fact, that farmers and fishermen are complaining that they're not getting the loan. They're meeting their requirements. They're going into the bank to get the loan, to upgrade themselves, to expand their business, and they're not getting the loan. One boatman went in, they telling me he could only get the money for the boat or for the engine. He can't get everything. But why he cannot get everything and other people cannot get what they're asking for? Government ministers getting it. So how could you tell me that these people and them are lazy, and when they're meeting the requirements, go and get the money for the loan, they're not getting it, but government ministers could get it? Tell me tell me how come you could justify that? If was NNP under Dr. Mitchell, what will be that man saying? Dr. Mitchell wicked, he corrupt, and he know what is right. He know this and he know that. He know he's not supposed to do this. That is the fault. That is what they would have come out and say.
Caller, you make a point that I want to go back to. You say it's against the bank policy to provide loan for the ministers?
No, not I said. I said it is against bank policy for government ministers to be taking the loan.
Okay.
They're taking the money and that is what I said.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted
Correct me if I'm wrong.
I just wanted to.
No. Yeah, I wouldn't say that when I know the laws of the GDB.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that. So what I'm trying to say is, why should we justify something when it is not right?
It's not legal. So what they did was an illegal act.
Exactly.
And immoral.
If it is wrong
and unethical.
So if it is wrong for green, it have to be wrong for yellow. That's my contribution on that. Thank you.
Yes, the NDC must come out and tell us if the bank policy permitted them to take loan. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. Try again. The National Democratic Congress mouthpieces must say to us whether or not the bank policy, they could take loan in it, or if the bank specify that ministers must not take loan from the bank. Because you're taking a loan from yourself. Some of the money that put in the GDB bank was put there by you. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, good afternoon. This man was calling and talking about people, Grenadians, lazy and they don't want to do anything. I apply for money in the GDB bank. They don't have no money to give nobody. The GDB bank clean. So tell him, they don't have no money.
All right, caller. You see, the question is, the government is flaunting the law with impunity. The government of Grenada is flaunting the law with impunity. And that ought not to be. In every system, particularly in the democratic system, you have check and balances. So if the money in the GDB bank was placed there by government ministers, you're not supposed to go and take the money. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, this thing about the bank money, there is a lie.
Caller.
Get loan in the bank for this year. 3 persons get over $100,000 borrowing the bank this year. Well, they don't want the money. They're too lazy. They just want to tax their tax, but they're lazy. They don't want the money because 3 persons get loan. Each one of them get over $100,000 borrow from the bank. What are you talking about? That's nonsense. Isabel, you have a good day.
Okay, you see, you cannot blame the caller because the NDC policy, the NDC as a government, they have a policy of calling people lazy, eater food, hungry mouth, commoners, classless, lunatic and idiots, good people and bad people. These statements didn't start with the rank and file, you know. They came from the ministers of government. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost that caller. So I don't object when I hear ordinary people say these things. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, afternoon, me again. Tell that man to go in GDB Bank and apply for a loan and see if he'll get it. I'm not lying. They don't have no money.
Okay, sometimes we get because remember we have a policy now of restorative justice, political vengeance. So if he has a yellow chest, he may be very fortunate. A lot of time in my discourse, I don't take objection with the ordinary individuals when they see people as lazy, because it is the NDC policy. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, he sees good people and bad people. All Grenadians are good. All of us fall short of the glory of God. All of us does make mistakes. We should not be categorizing people as good people and bad people. But the Minister of Foreign Affairs, an educated man, you know, he was a teacher. He in Tong Long. He ran for election under the MBPM. But today, he sees people as good people and bad people. The Prime Minister of Grenada, he sees people as beggy and classless. The Minister of Agriculture, hear the words that coming out from his mouth. Lunatic and idiot. The Minister of Legal Affairs and Labor, greedy and needy. The Minister of Health and the Minister of Youth, mad, black woman. So when the ministers of government using this language, then what do you expect from the over-exuberant supporters? Their language is harsher and worse. They say, let them starve. Let them punks toad in the river. Don't give them no work. They mustn't get contract. That is what comes from your supporters. And we have so much of individuals who ought to know better. Like the trade union leaders, who is calling for the head of NNP supporters, perceive, because they don't know, a lot of public officers do not openly flaunt political parties. But the head of the teachers union, he joined the group and he's calling for the head of public officers. And he calling them, they saying they sabotage. That is the environment we're in. It's a very hostile environment to people who does not seem or appear or perceive to agree with the government. Now, our institutions in our country, like the trade union, the Chamber of Commerce, civil organization, the Bar Association, are silent on that matter. That's why I appeal to Timothy Antoine. I don't want him to come like Dwight Venner. That's why I appeal to Timothy Antoine to hold a private dialogue with the Prime Minister of Grenada and Dennis Cornwall and advise them that the road they're going down is a wrong road. Let them know it's going to come like a boomerang and it's going to come back to haunt them. Speak to them about the GDB Bank. Look at the rules and regulation that was used to set up the bank. Examine whether the law has been flaunted. Look at the CBI program. Ask them if it's ethical, if it is moral for members of the government, several of them, to be agents selling passports. Speak to them about the Samoa Agreement. Find out who is the third party that dictating our foreign affairs. Timothy Antoine, you is the only one in that position now could do it. I would have called on Willie, but Willie had get tired. Comrade Ray get swamped in the process. The head of the trade union get contaminated. So Timothy Antoine, if we have a third party dictating our foreign affairs, it could spell trouble in the future. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, welcome.
You don't talk about Mars. What is Mars? What is Mars when my uncle lose $5,000 in the bank bag? What is Mars? When the bank in jail and I can't get my money. What is Mars? The CCB, the same bank you're talking about, they tell the Grenada government not to give the man permission to run the bank.
That is not true, caller. Caller, that is not true.
That is true.
Caller, that is not true. I told you to find out. Caller, when Debug started the bank, you did not need permission from the ECCB. The governments come together and decide to have a tighter control on financial institution and to get the clearinghouse facilities. The bank, the OEC, the central bank should be in charge of everything. Debug made his submission. Dwight Venner refused to accept it and he challenged it in court. Investigate that call. We don't have to say what is not true on the radio. I'll let you do it a lot of time because I don't believe it's my responsibility to explain that. The NNP was attacked mercilessly for that and they should have explained that to the public. But use a regular caller on the radio and we want to speak the truth here. If we continue to speak the truth, we're going to educate everybody. You know? And I don't want to get sued or financially embarrassed or suffering from monetary instability. And the radio station I'm in is economically fragile. So we want to stick with that which is true. So help us, scholar, to propagate that. But even if you lost money in a financial institution, that is no justification to kill morality. When the Prime Minister said, and you see the rippling effect he have on the ground, the Prime Minister said morality is a private thing. The other saying was say, What happened in the bedroom? Let it stay in the bedroom. So the Prime Minister of Grenada said, morality is a private thing. That is why the Prime Minister doesn't understand that while Grenadians celebrating 50 years of independence, I asked the question, he have to tell us who is the third party that dictating our foreign affairs. Is it a group from Dubai? And if that is so, then did he sell our independence? Because foreign affairs is what gives us the final nail that we consider ourselves independent. In 1967, we was responsible for our local management. In 1974, we became responsible for foreign affairs. And we could have made our decisions independent from Britain. That is why Grenada was able to join the OECS and the OAU and the United Nations. And that is why we had a revolution and the British did not intervene. When Argentina took over the Falkland Island, the British sent battleship and take it back. Because the Falkland Island was not independent. So our independence in 1974, we were able to determine our own destiny. So every Grenadian ought to be concerned about the Samoa Agreement. Who is the third party that dictates that we should sign the agreement? The Prime Minister said he did not read the document, so he could not have commented on it. He commented on what a Catholic priest said in Trinidad. The Minister of Foreign Affairs was against the signing. He said it contradicts the Constitution. He evoked revolutionary fervor. So who gave the orders? Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good evening.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Just want to make mention of your, the caller before that talking about the bank and people and everything like that. Say that where angels afraid to tread, fools was the good laughing. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Yes. Yes, it's all angels are very wise. You see where angels fail to tread, fools just running there, rushing there. And most of them die. And the strength of the democratic process gives fools the opportunity to talk. And that is the strength. But we must seek the truth. And individuals from the trade union, I don't expect our journalists, when they have the opportunity to ask Deaton and his group, I realize all of them running from that. But I want to know who is the third party that dictating our foreign affairs. And I'm interested in knowing if the senior members of government are agents selling passports, who is doing the check and balances? We ought to know the excesses because we are convinced that this government is traveling excessively. They are not seeking Grenada's interests. So we want to know how much trips you all make. Tell us. It seems as though you're traveling to make money, to enrich yourself. That's why I believe at this stage, the NDC is qualified to be considered as raiders of the coffers of this country. And it cannot be right. Many in the past have walked the straight and narrow. They have made great sacrifice for the country. I know a lot of public officers that gave hours and hours of their time in voluntary service. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller. We lost that caller. Caller, try again. And it's not right. What we are doing in Grenada is we're turning the hand of the clock back. Yes, caller, welcome. We lost the caller again. All right, caller, try back again. Maybe you're a first-time caller. You just pick up the telephone. The number to call is 442-0175. You can call from a straight line, or you can use WhatsApp. No preamble. You just call and punch. In the meantime, we encourage you to share our program, like our program, share our program. And let's discuss those issues. Find out if the GDB Bank permits ministers of government to take loan in it. Find out if the senior members of government are selling passports, who doing the check and balances? Let us ask our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, those that like gala. When you meet the ministers, ask them that. And these are some of the important things that will determine whether our country is considered as a banana republic. These are some of the templates, the yardsticks, that would determine crime and violence. If the ordinary man believes that the government is using the ministers of government, is using the coffers of government as a supermarket to be raided. Yes, scholar, welcome.
So, Pierre, you talk about the NDC had gala. Yes, not wrong in that. What the NMP having? They plan to have 4 gala in the United States and 1 in Grenada. Why you call that? Why you talking about them planning gala and NMP doing the same thing? They condemn the bingo, Mr. Pierre, and NMP trying to have bingo. You could tell me that they could do something else, but they choose to have bingo. Mr. Pierre, I listen to Karen James, and I believe she
Caller. You have an opportunity to call on a program. Call, express yourself. If something else going on another program, we don't hear it. And while you're on that, if a political party want to have a bingo, that's all well. But if the government of Grenada having a bingo, that's a different story, caller. If the NDC party want to have a bingo, nothing is wrong with that. If the government of Grenada go out to have a meeting with people, they don't invite in NDC alone. They invite the public. And if they pass around with a hat collecting money, do they give receipt for money, caller? When government collect money, you must have receipt. The NDC have to separate the government from the party. If Mr. Forrester is appointed as ambassador for the diaspora, nothing is wrong with that. But if he is using his appointment to raise funds for the NDC, something is wrong with that. And caller, it seems that you are in tongue long, so you have to know the difference between the government of Grenada and the NDC. Don't let us get the lines blurred. The government, the NDC party, makes up the government. But the NDC party could have a massive bingo. But if the government of Grenada having one, it's a different story. That is why the government of Grenada start a non-governmental organization. These are acts that is tantamount to corrupted acts. The government of Grenada cannot start a non-governmental organization. And based upon what we are hearing, the organization received money even before they was legally registered. These are acts of corruption. It is not right. Later down the road, we're going to be considered a banana republic. When you do these things, remember all the public officers would know, you know. The records have to be there. And if the government is very corrupt, they're going to say, Massa Bull, Massa Cow. If the priest could play, who is me? The picking in the yard is for the pig in the yard. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. I want to ask when I would be getting my pension, because I'm 65 years and I hear pension. We're talking about pension. So I want to know when I'm going to get my pension. But I don't have no interest much in it because I have no family what I have to get pension. And I don't know anything about this pension. So please tell me when I'm going to get my pension, Mr. Pierre.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah. The first of all, were you in a pensionable post? You see, when the NDC was speaking, they had, yes, caller, welcome.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, caller.
I've been listening to your program for a little while, and you know, I just think you should also highlight some of the good things that are happening in the country as well, so that people could have an idea as to what's going on. Because a government cannot be all bad. So that's just my contribution.
Caller.
As well as you want to highlight the bad, just highlight the good as well.
Caller.
Yes, I'm listening.
You heard some of the things that are highlighting there?
Mostly all of it.
You heard me speaking about the GDB Bank?
You're talking about the GDP
and the CBI program?
Yes, I heard.
And the Samoa agreement? These are big ones, daughters. Daughter, this is big ones. Normally, I don't criticize politicians much on mistakes politicians might make. So politicians might make a lot of mistakes, and you may not hear me talking about it because I expect a new group of people, political neophytes, to make mistakes. But not with the GDB Bank. That is a crime. Not with the CBI program. Not with the Samoa agreement. Daughter, this is big ones.
Yes, but I don't see anything wrong. If the fact that the
daughter, you don't know. Sister.
No, but hold on. You've spoken, right? You have spoken and I've listened.
I thought you asked me a question, Go ahead.
No, I don't have no questions.
Go ahead.
You have been listening to me for almost the past hour and other times as well. And all I'm saying is the fact that the GDB Bank has given whomever the loan, I don't see a problem with that. If it wasn't part of if it wasn't something that they're supposed to do, I don't think that they would have done it. And I've also heard on one of the radio stations in Grenada that they're offering 200,000 to people to put up their water tanks and stuff like that. So all I'm saying is, while you want to highlight some of the bad things, I have no problem with that. You can highlight whatever that you want on your program, but at least highlight some of the goods.
Scholar,
Encourage
highlight some
people
of the
to
good
go and
ones for me. Because you have an opportunity to highlight. So you highlight
I
some
have,
of the positives.
trust me, I have no problem with doing that. I would like to encourage people to go out there and to get their concrete structured bathroom and toilet, be a part of the WASH program. I would also like to encourage people as well, if you have any fruits and stuff in your backyard, take them to the schools, because the students are now getting their free food and stuff like that in the different schools. So if you have fruits and vegetables and so that you want to bring into the different schools in your area, do so, because it is going towards the good of the people. You understand? And there are a lot more things happening. Highlight some of them.
Thank you,
There are a
caller.
lot of people
Caller, thank you
who
very
did not
much.
have running water.
Thank you
Why are
very
you
much,
chasing
caller.
me away? Listen, ask me to highlight and here.
We come to the end of our program. Caller next tomorrow, call Ollie and highlight all the good that the NDC does. Call Ollie. This is what the program is about. You could cut me off in the middle of a sentence and introduce the topic you want. I only speak while I'm waiting on callers. So don't tell me what I should highlight. You call and highlight. I don't normally go after little mistakes politicians make. But these I go after, I think is big ones. The GDB Bank. The NDC is qualified to be considered raiders of the GDB Bank. And I believe they're flaunting the law. And that is why I call on Timothy Antoine. The CBI program. Because several members of the government are agents, senior members, where is the check and balance? We have a third party dictating our foreign affairs. The excessive traveling of the government is unethical, it's immoral. And I do not accept Deacon's explanation that morality is a private thing. And our institutions, if you want to command respect in this country, there are some issues you must speak about. Our journalists are not asking these questions, and I understand. Sometimes the journalists could send an innocent man guilty and a guilty man go free. Those was the words of Malcolm X. And we end today and we back with you again tomorrow, and we give you another opportunity to call. No preamble and punch. Thank you very much.